Luxury. How are you? Thank you for the likes. Dominique, how you doing, sis? I was thinking of you today, actually. How's your family? How's everything going, Dominique? So I don't have much time, but I did promise and I did commit to start coming on here more again. So let's see. What does she say? I didn't pass, but if I pass their practice exam, 75% plus they will pay. You got this. You got this. So, sending you good energy, sending you love and light. I know it's going to work out for you, and you're going to get the grade that you need and the scoring that you need so that you can get the service paid for you. But that's okay, because sometimes we just need that little bit of practice, that little bit of swing to jump into certain things, like especially if you haven't been in school for a while. I know the last time I enrolled in college, I dropped out because it was just a lot. And I was like, well, it's been some years, this is a lot of information. And then like with my schedule and stuff, it was like hard to keep up. So that's okay. It's just a little bit of practice and you'll get back to it. And I'm sending you good vibes and positivity. The answers will come to you and you're going to get it situated and figured out. And actually, speaking on what you were speaking on, I have a few ideas, some things that I was thinking about creating and structuring a business. So we'll talk more offline, but appreciate your presence. I'm glad that you're doing well. Yeah, y'all, I haven't really been up here like that because I was just getting my son ready for school, and I'm preparing my own curriculum for him due to his special needs and stuff. So I'm not following any type of like state curriculum or any particular like homeschooling curriculum. I'm literally making all of his own activities, structuring out his day. We are utilizing educational app, and then they have like live courses every afternoon for different things, math, language, reading, and it's a live course. So I'm doing that all by myself, and on top of working, and I'm working from home. So it is a lot. It's a lot. It's going great though, honestly. He gives me some challenges. I was talking to your mom about it today. He gives me some fight back. He gives me some challenges, but I'm not allowing it to frustrate me. I'm just being extremely patient with him. The thing that I love about Florida so much is you don't need to have any set hours for schooling. So like, let's say like Monday, he was ready. He did a lot of hours of schooling, like probably 5 or 6 hours worth of schooling. And then yesterday he kind of plateaued and he was giving me, didn't want to get out of bed. He didn't get out of bed until like 10 a.m. He got out to eat breakfast, but then wanted to go lay back down and ended up falling back asleep. And I allowed for it because I wasn't feeling well yesterday anyway. So we only did like 2 hours of schooling, 2 hours of practice writing, but today he wasn't having it at all. So I let him do some app work, some app play, some tracing on an application on the tablet. I made him watch some educational story time and all of these things in the state of Florida. I'm not sure about everybody else's state, but you can count those as homeschooling hours. And then if they have any like therapies or any extracurricular activities such as sports and things like that, you can utilize that as hours as well too, as long as you can prove that it is for their benefit. So I just have a big file folder and I'm just logging daily the activities that he's doing where I feel like it's appropriately educating him, whether it's socially, emotionally, with language and speech development, physical. He's been taking swim lessons with my boyfriend, so that's nice. So 2 hours every day, he's been getting that. We're in sunny Florida, so you can get outside every single day. So that's really great for him. And just other activities too. I purchased a lot of materials and stuff like that for him to have different activities to help him out. So it's just more so about being patient and just continuing to develop a style for him, continuing to just be there for him, you know, the way he needs it. But it's a lot. It's a lot for me. It's a lot navigating through it and working. So I just am sticking with it, you know what I'm saying? And not giving up on him, not giving up on me, being patient, not being frustrated, not going off of my path. As you all know, we've been talking about journeys, our individual paths. Hold on. Somebody else can hear me. Somebody said it's taken them a while to connect. I'm not sure. Y'all know my TikTok be acting. Hold on. I'm not sure if that's better, y'all, or not. But somebody else said that they were having a problem connecting. Oh, there we go. I put the Wi-Fi on. I'm not sure if that's better, but maybe they'll come back. But yeah, so basically I'm just trying to get back into the groove, guys, of coming on here, saying, hey, I have some things that I want to discuss, but I just really haven't had the time to sit down for me and formulate it and come on here and present the information in an appropriate manner. I don't want to be all over the place, and right now, because it's the first week of school, I'm kind of all over the place. So I don't want to like come on here and not be able to sit and really give a message the way I need to. But we've been talking about our journeys and our own individual paths. We've been talking about, you know, how sometimes on our own journey we go through moments of isolation or periods where we have to separate from things that don't serve us any longer. We have to make sure we're in the right and adequate environments, because sometimes when you're in the wrong environment, like your home environment, if it's tumultuous, your family environment, your friendships, your relationships, even your work environment, if the energy is off, that can rub off onto you, especially if you don't have the strength and the tools and the activities to be able to address when you're starting to feel a shift in energy or feeling off. So we've been talking about our paths and our journeys, and the big one for me is the homeschooling. I'm the first in my family to really do this, so it's not like I can go towards anybody like for help or encouragement. Like, yeah, they can say, oh, you know, just stay at it, but it's not really much that I can get from them, because nobody has ever really went through it and persevered through it, I guess I should say. Like, yes, during the pandemic, a lot of our children were forced to be at home, but this is like a personal choice that I already knew that I was going to do due to my son's differences. So we've been talking about these paths and these journeys, and for me, the homeschooling stuff is a big journey for me. You know, it's so easy for people to say, why don't you just send them to school? You'll have more of your time, you'll have more of your mind and stuff for yourself. And that's true, but I'm just a little bit ancient schooled. I don't want to say old school, I want to say ancient. I don't know if I necessarily believe in sending your children to other people to raise them. I had to do that when he was really young, and I felt guilty every single day. I almost had a nervous breakdown, sending him to daycare and then working extra to afford daycare and all of that. And it kind of made me look at things in a different manner. So I'm just staying the course basically with this, even though it's all tough and it's not the easiest, especially though I'm not utilizing any resources. I'm making my own resources basically, and creating my own curriculum. So it is a lot, but I know that my son, he just is an alternative learner, so I don't want to fight against him when it comes to schooling. I want to work with him. I want to do what's best for him. I want to do what's going to help him be successful and make him feel confident, not continue to push him into environments that's making him feel inadequate or dumb or like he can't do it. So that was a big reason for me choosing to do the homeschooling, while he still catches up certain areas that he is lacking in or struggling in for now. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like that forever. I think that sometimes when we have children, we want them to operate like an adult. We want them to get it, like off of the first go around, off of the first correction, off of the first time doing something. It's like we want them to get with it and go with the flow and like treat them like an inconvenience, but you got to give them time. You got to let them. We're all different as individuals, even as adults with our fully developed brains. We all process information differently. We process experiences differently. So you got to give them time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've been doing, and giving myself time to rest, you know, and recharge also. Because when you're going down a road less traveled, when you're doing things that's not as popular, it can wear you out, you know. Hey, Shadow, welcome in. It can make you feel, you know, just a little, not defeated, but it can be a struggle at times. So, you know, you just have to rewire your minds and your perception on things, your outlook. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for liking. You just got to tell yourself, like, when you see the vision for yourself and you see the path that you're on and you know what your journey is supposed to be, you have to just keep reminding yourself that it's going to be okay. You have to keep practicing your affirmations. I don't know why, but for some reason I've been getting mad spam calls. But yeah, you got to keep telling yourself, like, practicing those affirmations and reminding yourself that it's okay, that it's like not perfect right now. It might look a little chaotic, it might look a little messy, you know, everything is not always detailed and organized, and that's fine. You got to go through the process. Don't just turn around and go back to where it's comfortable just because the road gets a little rocky, you know. Everything is not always going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be some storms sometimes. And that's when you're able to see the beautiful iridescence of the rainbows. That's when you're able to see life growing with the plants, with vegetables, with fruits and stuff. Thank you so much, Shadow, for the gifts. So yeah, just stay the course and just stay on your path, whatever it may be. Even if it is some heartaches, even if it's some disruptions, you know, don't break. Keep at it. And that's just the best message that I can give. That's the message that I've been telling myself, because even with everything that I've got going on, trying to get out the workforce, trying to shift and transition more into being like that stay-at-home mother so that I could be more hands-on with my son with his schooling and just his health, and wanting to detox him and other things that I know is going to be beneficial for his cognitive abilities and staying focused and stuff. It's hard when you have so much going on and you're just juggling so many different things and putting on so many different hats. But don't give up on yourself. You know, schedule your day out. Make sure you take some time for you to do your deep breathings, to do your meditations. You know, don't just let you fall to the wayside because you still have to work and you still got to pay bills and you still got to clean and cook and take after home and all of this stuff. Don't let you fall to the wayside. Take that time to still practice some self-care. You know, whether it's a nice little walk for you, where you could just breathe in deep and just get some fresh air. Whether it's walking up and down your stairs if you live in an apartment complex or you have a house with stairs in it and you want to just get some movement going, especially if you're at home all day like me. I work from home, so I have to constantly remind myself, all right, I need to go outside for 10 minutes and walk around. I need to get up and move. I need to do this, I need to do that. Don't just stay in one place, because that's how energy can be dormant inside your body when you just stay in one place. So being active is a big way to help you out as well. And that's what I've been doing, y'all. So y'all haven't been seeing me on here, and it's just because I have so much going on with my schedule, so much that I'm taking care of offline, and then I have to make sure I'm giving time for myself. So usually in my free time, when I had those free moments and that availability, I would just always come on here and spend a couple of hours here. But lately I haven't had a couple of hours to spare. So I'm getting better at making sure I'm putting in some time on here so that I can come and give you guys some divine messages, give you some encouragement, give you some motivation, some light and love, catch up and see how everybody is doing, making sure that everybody is well, their families are well, they're feeling well in their mind, bodies, and spirits, making sure that we're just doing that maintenance on self, because nobody else is going to notice when you're about to crash out. Nobody else is going to see you when you're in your moments of low and you need to take a little rest and you need to take a little break. Nobody is going to see you on the hamster wheel and repeating your cycles. It's really a self journey and self-development and self-awareness that you have to have. So with anything that you're doing, it could be difficult. It could be hard at first. It could be uncomfortable, because growing pains are uncomfortable. But Would you rather evolve, or would you rather continue to repeat cycles? And that's what we stress over here when we do these lives, when we do these divine discussions, when I do my consultations with others, when people are coming to me and they need feedback, they need direction, they need guidance. This is the things that we talk about. We talk about stepping into your path and your purpose. We talk about stepping into those spaces that are uncomfortable, that are unfamiliar territory, so that way you can evolve and so that you can grow. So that way you don't just continue repeating the same cycles. We don't want to shrink ourselves any longer. We don't want to keep hiding because things feel uncomfortable or they seem uncertain. We don't want to keep shying away from our gifts and what we know we're good at and what we're naturally talented at. Because in those gifts and in that purpose might be your breakthrough. It might be your financial relief. It might be the spiritual uplifting that you need. I've said this many times before, helping others helps me. But we have to realize we can't pour from an empty cup. So always making sure you know when to take that step back and take care of you. Do a self-assessment, do a self-check. Make sure you're good in your mind, body, and spirit. But also not spending too much time taking a time out. Not turning that break to be an extended break because of nerves or anxiety or overthinking. Those are major ones that stop you from stepping into your purpose, that keep you in those phases of isolation, that keep you nervous to put yourself out there or try something different. Don't continue to shrink in yourself. Don't be afraid to step and pivot away from the crowd. Don't be afraid to get away from what everybody else is doing. And don't be feeling nervous when your growth isn't loud, when your growth isn't big and public on display for everybody else. You don't have to compare your journey and your growth or your destination to anybody else's. All movement doesn't have to be loud. All movement doesn't have to be visible. Sometimes it's the quiet plays. Sometimes it's the play that people don't necessarily see that ends up winning you the game, that ends up getting you that victory. So just be easy on yourself. Don't be too crazy on yourself on your journey. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be a whole giant buried underneath the surface, just waiting for that opportunity to break out, waiting for that opportunity to be plucked, waiting for that opportunity to be chosen. And how you get chosen for the opportunities is by choosing yourself. Choosing to stop shying away from speaking engagements. Choosing to stop shying away from being at tables with others who are further along than you, who have progressed with certain things that maybe you're interested in, but you just didn't know how to step into it. It's okay to not be at somebody else's level of success or rate at success just yet, because your path is your path. So stay on your path. Don't feel bad. Keep doing what you're meant to do. Because your journey and your path is for you. It's not for anybody else. Don't get jammed up trying to follow everybody else. Don't get caught up in the crowds and what everybody else is doing and talking about and looking at. If your intuition, if your consciousness is pulling you and guiding you elsewhere, don't be afraid to shift and go down that path. Don't be afraid to be the only one doing something. Just because something is popular, it doesn't mean that it's right. Just because you see others getting money doing something doesn't mean that's for you. Or just because you got inspired by somebody else's journey doesn't mean that that's your same journey. So it's important to sit with self. It's important to do your meditations, to do your moments of getting in solitude and hearing that divine voice so you can get a divine direction and instruction for your path. and it's okay. I'm going to share this message out with a couple peoples. Just give me a second for whoever's watching. My apologies, y'all. I'm still getting back into the swing of being on here because it's been a little minute. Like I said, I've been taking care of home, taking care of me, making sure I'm getting my ducks in order and stuff, and certain affairs taken care of. So it's just getting me a little minute to get back into the swing of coming up on here. But like I said, I'm being more dedicated and making sure I'm getting out here to encourage you all and do a wellness check, let y'all know that I'm good. I'm not like somewhere on the side of the road, half crazy. Everything is fine. I'm just taking care of myself and taking care of my baby. So it just gets busy at times to come on here. Hey, Mystical, welcome in. Thank you for sharing and thank you for the likes. Beautiful. Appreciate you and appreciate your presence. I was just letting the people know, don't shy away from your opportunities. Don't shrink away from those moments where you're called to speak or where you're called to shine. When it's your time, you'll know. And don't keep shrinking yourself due to fear or due to being let down before previously in the past or any reason. You know, a lot of things make us shrink away and shy away from our purpose sometimes. A lot of things make us feel like we would like to be in the shadows and, I don't know, we don't want to be seen. That is something that I struggle with my own personal self. So I have to deal with a lot of meditations. I have to deal with a lot of self-care, a lot of moments of silence, so that way I can clear out blockages. Scared to be seen, scared to be in the forefront, not wanting so much attention on me. We're all on different sides of the spectrum. Some people attention seek. I run away from the attention. I don't really necessarily care for it, but that's just due to my own personal. See, when you spend a lot of time alone and you're aware, you'll know why you've developed certain characteristic traits or why you have certain personality traits about you. So for me, I've been rejected a lot because of my assertiveness, because of my directness. Sometimes I don't have a filter. It's not to intentionally harm anyone, but sometimes my brain just says things very matter-of-factly and like the first thing that comes to my mind. And even though my intent is not to hurt anybody, people can take things harmfully, especially if they've never been given like a harsh truth before. So for me, I've had a lot of people like disregard me or say that they're for me, but they leave me or they don't support me or they don't believe in me. So I developed a lot of like self-awareness issues about being seen, because people will gaslight you and make you feel like you ain't on point with the stuff that you're saying and the stuff that you're spitting, especially when you're in the spiritual community or the religious community and you have certain gifts. People will gaslight you and make you feel like you're off, with some of the things that you're saying and some of the points that you're hitting. But it's really just them projecting. It's really just them hiding because you saw the energy and was able to call it out. Mystical Relic says, same girl, Virgo here. I hurt feelings when I'm just being honest. My son's a Virgo too. And yes, my son is the same way. Even though he's a child, it's the same for him. But because I grew up like that, I don't get offended. I have really thick skin. So I grew up in a household where it's like you gotta hold your own. So like jokes or just harsh truths or anything, you just gotta know how to take criticism. You gotta know how to clap back, is what they would say coming up. Like, you gotta know how to roast back. You gotta know how to hold your own, basically. Like, don't get upset. Don't get feel some type of way. Like, it's still all love, but sometimes certain things just gotta be said, and that's how I am. So it's hard, especially when people are used to being around people pleasers, or they're used to being around like yes men and women. When you get around somebody who's like genuine and authentic, but they also like don't play around, it can be a fierce presence to be around. And sometimes people avoid that Because a lot of people avoid sitting with self, and a lot of people avoid accountability. And that's a big thing that I've learned on my journey, realizing that everybody's not going to do things the same way that I do them. Everybody's not going to process information or learn lessons the same way that I do. For me, I might be able to hear something once and I learned from it, or I learned how to deal with somebody because they told me something bothered them or upset them, or they didn't like XYZ. So I learned how to speak with them or handle them or deal with their emotions. Everybody's not like that. Some people are conditioned and programmed to be in a certain type of way. That's why you hear a lot of people say, that's just how I am. And that doesn't mean that everybody's a narcissist. That doesn't mean that everybody's like out to get you. Sometimes people are just genuinely programmed, and it takes practice to break those habits. It takes repetition to get out of certain things. Me and my boyfriend talk about this all the time. Like sometimes if whatever, we were busy during the day and then I have to get something from the store, but it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. He'll be like, it's late, why are you going out? And I'm like, why are you clocking my moves and what I'm doing? But he apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry, like you have to understand, this is just that conditioning. When you're raised in a certain way, like the man sets the tone for the household or how stuff is supposed to go. So it's like a conditioning that I have to break out of at times too. And I'm not trying to like control you or tell you you don't know what's best for you. It's just a conditioning. And I get that and I understand that because it's the same for me. I was conditioned with my upbringing, like to let the man take the lead, to let them basically say and control the tone and set the tone of the household instead of it being equal power, equal responsibility, you know? So that plays into when you try shy or shrink yourself away from certain opportunities and certain things because you were raised to play the back, or you were raised to dim yourself down to appease others. So when people just do things sometimes, or they make mistakes, or they mishandle you at times, don't allow your heart to get hardened because of it. Everybody doesn't mean like ill intention. Everybody's not trying to be harmful. Sometimes it is just their programming, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take grace. It's going to take understanding and patience from others around you for you to break that conditioning and break those bad habits. So you just got to put your heart and your mind in a place where you're able to receive those types of people too. Because sometimes when we've had bad experience after bad experience, we think that every experience is going to be like that. We think that every friend is going to be like that side-eyeing or in competition. We think that every relationship is going to end the way the last one did, or when you get triggered, you're going to think that, oh, they're going to do me how this last partner did, or whatever the case may be. But that's not always necessarily the case. That's just our trauma, our unresolved issues in our body, creating that reaction or creating that thought in our minds. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, get out. Bye. Sorry, y'all. That was my son. He literally can't be away from me for 30 seconds without seeing what I'm doing. So that's another reason too that I am trying to get a schedule and a routine, get him back on schedule. We've been traveling and stuff, so he don't have a bedtime right now, but I'm trying to get him back on schedule so I can start getting back on here like I used to. I used to get on here on late nights. For those who are new to watch me, I used to get on here like 9 p.m.s, 10 p.m.s and stay on till like 1 a.m.s. But I've been so tired lately. I haven't done that in a few months now. But it's okay. We're gonna establish a routine again so that we can start coming on here, because I have about 15 or like 20 different topics of things that I want to break down and talk about. But I want to start uploading things to YouTube. So I want to make sure I'm in a quiet environment. I'm in, not getting interrupted and stuff, because I'm getting more serious about the messages that I am putting out there. I'm getting more serious about how I want to present information to everybody, because on this journey, in my personal journey that I was on, I noticed a lot, and the most major thing that I notice is It doesn't matter about anybody's class or their economic status or their color or their religion or their political affiliation. So many people right now are struggling, and so many people right now feel alone in their struggles or what they're going through. And not enough of us are connecting, or not enough of us are hearing a positive message, an encouraging message to let us know that we're not alone. As the ET picture is up, I just think it's so funny. But it's true, you're not alone. Not only are there others that resonate with what you're going through or what you're coming out of, but your higher self is also with you, wanting you to know that these experiences that you go through, these lessons that you go through, you can utilize them as tools for your development. You can utilize them as situational awareness motivators. You can use them to help someone else that you meet along your journey. See, sometimes we think the negative things that we go through or the situations that turn out not in our favor, we think that it's punishment to us, or we think that it's a bad karma or the devil or whatever. We always are trying to put the responsibility on something, right? We're always trying to find an answer or make sense of things. Sometimes there's nothing to make sense of, because presently there's no reason. There's no rhyme or reason for why you're going through what you're going through presently. But maybe you didn't know in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, you would have a mentor, a mentee. You would have a niece, a nephew, a godchild, a child, somebody, an adult child that goes through the situation you went through, or that's facing a similar energy or a similar attack that you were under, that it was hard for you to come out of. But because you were able to come out of it, right, and persevere through this situation, you now have that experience under your belt to be able to talk about it, and talk about it with confidence, talk about it without shame or guilt, talk about it without feeling the need to hide, right? So sometimes the situations that we go through, it is to help others along our path. As I was saying earlier, for me, when I'm feeling low, when I'm feeling down, sometimes coming and sharing a message on here helps heal me. It helps me feel better when I'm able to use my experiences and some of the heartache and the pain that I've been through, some of the situations where I was let down or where people mishandled me or mistreated me. When I'm able to use that message and speak to someone else, and somebody can resonate with it, somebody can feel something, feel like I'm not alone, feel like, okay, maybe this isn't just a personal attack on me. Maybe this is a lesson that I have to pull out of this. There is some type of strength that is being cultivated with me going through this situation. When you're able to get through your stuff and then speak confidently and publicly without shame, without guilt, without fear, that helps others. That inspires and encourages others. So don't always think your situations are for a negative or for an attack. Sometimes you just have the perseverance. Sometimes you just have the know-how. You know how to get through. You know how to overcome stuff. You have that strength. You have that wisdom to navigate through things that were sent to break you, and you come out on top. And because you can do it and you can handle it, you're able to teach others how to get through and get by. The biggest example, and I'll get personal for a moment, but the biggest example that I could give when it comes to that is when I lost my son in 2015, my firstborn son. He was 2 years old. And I was only 21. I was still a baby. I was still a baby in my eyes. I hadn't even experienced life yet. So to go through something so world changing and so perspective changing at such a young age so quickly, it changed my way of thinking. I went through my darkness, I went through my depression, I went through my lost years, where I didn't know where to turn, I didn't know how to seek help, I didn't even know what type of help I needed. But after I overcame the depression, overcame the anger and the guilt, when I was able to get to the clarity side of things, I was able to look back and be like, nobody in my family has ever lost a child or went through this. Instead of feeling like angry at the world or feeling angry at my family for not being able to support me, I have to understand the amount of strength that I have, the amount of perseverance that I have. I was chosen by my bloodline to carry this weight. I was chosen to go through something such as this because I was the one who would be able to get through it with my right mind still. I will be able to get through it and be able to speak to others and help others, even if I didn't have that help my own self through the situation. So that was like one life-changing experience that was able to teach me about suffering and teach me about when you go through certain things and when you overcome certain things, what it's meant for and what you're meant for, what your place is in the situation. Because sometimes we have done nothing and bad things still happen. Sometimes we have been our best self, we've been supportive, we've been a great spouse, we've been a great parent, we've thought we've done everything right, we've provided, we've protected, we've nurtured, and we still lose, or we still don't get everything that we feel like we deserve. Sometimes we're not on the receiving end of the love, of the patience, of the grace, of the kindness. Sometimes we are just giving our all. But there's lessons through it. And if you don't lose yourself and you learn how to establish your voice, establish boundaries, know how to speak up for yourself, know how to be aware about what you need and how you need others to support you and show up for you, you're able to speak on it and you're able to teach people how to treat you. You're able to show others. I've been in this situation before where I was a rundown wife or a husband, where I was a sole provider, where I was giving everybody a handout, giving everybody a chance, letting everybody stay at my home. That happened to me. I've always had my own places. I've been on my own since I was a teenager. And I fell into a hardship due to helping someone else. And when I looked around, nobody was there to help me. Nobody was there to say, no, get on your feet. It didn't matter how many people I let stay with me previously in the past. In the now, when I was in that moment where I needed someplace to go or needed help or needed just refuge somewhere, nobody was there for me. But it taught me a valuable lesson of everybody's not going to have your heart. And that's why you have certain boundaries in place. That's why you know how to speak up for yourself, because even if you don't get the results or the reciprocity through certain people that you've assisted, at least you know you stood up for yourself, you spoke up for yourself, you handled yourself well, you handled the situation well. So that's really all that I was coming on here to talk about. Making sure that we are being selective about the information that we're taking in, the people, places, and things that we're surrounding ourselves with. Because energy can rub off on you. The next thing you know, you're feeling depressed. Next thing you know, you're hating your spouse. You want to break up, you want a divorce, you envying other people online and what they have. You're watching reality stars and influence relationships and what they have and what they buy and what they're able to do. And you start comparing your life and your journey to them. And that can usher in a state of depression. That can usher in a state of feeling unworthy, feeling like you're missing out, FOMO, fear of missing out. Because now you're looking at your life and now you start getting guilty and down on yourself about things you haven't accomplished or chances you didn't take. And that's not healthy for us. So just make sure you're watching good media, you're watching things that fulfill you, that inspire you, that motivate you, that encourage you, that get you centered, that help you release negative energy so you could be your best self. My algorithm is still not kicking because I don't really come on here like that, and that's okay. I didn't have much time today anyways. I just wanted to try to keep my obligation of coming on here, basically, because I said I was going to start doing that. So I did just that. I came, I saw, and I conquered. And now I'm exiting stage left. So I appreciate you, Mystical Relic. I think you're the only one still here, unless other people are watching that don't have their thing on. I know somebody was requesting to come up before. I'm not sure who it was. But sorry, I wasn't pulling anybody up because I knew I wasn't staying for a very long time. But we'll be back to our 2-hour, 3-hour sessions again, maybe one day when I'm feeling the energy. I don't like to come out here and talk too much when my energy is not where it needs to be, because I like to be able to give my all. I like to be able for the message to resonate the way it needs to. So thank you so much, girlfriend. Thank you for listening, and anybody else who was listening and watching and liking. And I will talk to you guys soon. Night.